you go further inland, closer to the mountains, but not in the ski areas, you could probably find a nice little rental for about 350, 375, like, a one bedroom, or maybe a one bedroom, a small second bedroom. They call them cameretta.
Okay, so today we're heading over to one of my favorite countries, Italy, and I'm with my new friend, Monica Izzo. Monica, thanks for doing the podcast.
Oh, no problem. It's my pleasure.
Yeah, so tell us a little bit about you. I mean, you got that kind of, New York feel to you. I can hear it. And so tell us a little bit about where you're from, your
Yeah.
backstory, and then how you landed in, you're living in this beautiful region called Abruzzo in this town called Silvi Marina. So tell us how you found it and tell us a little bit about where you're from.
Okay, will do. Okay, so originally I was born and raised in New Jersey. That's why I sound like I do. Moved to Florida after I got married, lived in West Central Florida for like 40 years. Then, after I retired, which was 4 years ago, I wanted to start a new chapter in my life. And I always, as an Italian citizen, I'm a dual citizen, American and Italian. I always dreamed about living in Italy. So I started to do some research, and I discovered that the Italian government was offering an incentive to help repopulate some of the lesser populated areas in Italy. It was a 7% flat tax area, so you only paid 7% on all your income for the next 10 years. So I
Right.
thought that was pretty interesting.
Yeah.
So I decided I would, start to research areas that had that available. So I looked. Abruzzo was one of the regions that it was offered in. I had been to Abruzzo on vacation twice. It's a very pretty area. It's got a beautiful coastline. Plus, we also have some of the largest mountain ranges in Italy.
Mm-hmm.
And it has a fairly moderate temperature. I didn't want to go too extreme, being from Florida, but I didn't want to be back in the cold. So I found this town, Silvi Marina, which qualified for 7%. It had to be less than 20,000 inhabitants, which it has. It's on the beach, which I like the beach. Looked around for a place to rent and found one, and then moved over.
Nice. Nice. Very nice. So you're a dual citizen.
Yes, I am.
Okay. Do you speak Italian?
Yes, I spoke, I would say, basic Italian, maybe not quite A1 when I got here, because growing up in an Italian American family, everybody spoke Italian, and I picked up Italian.
Yeah.
But now when I moved here, I'm actually taking lessons. I'm taking classes because my Italian only went so far, to are more conversational, but like to deal with doctors, plumbers, shopkeepers, you need a little more advanced. So I've
Yeah.
been taking lessons, and I'm hoping it improved.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's great. Okay, all right. So you're a dual citizen. Did you have to get a visa to
No, no,
you didn't?
no. As a dual citizen, and actually, I moved here in January of 2021 when Italy was still in lockdown because of COVID,
Okay.
and because of my citizenship, I was able to come, even though I was coming from America.
Okay. Well, let's talk about rents then, because you had to
Yeah,
find a place to rent. I hear in Abruzzo there it's reasonable. It's
yeah.
a beautiful region. One of the things that I've been also informed of, and you could verify this, but people, if you don't speak Italian, it's a little bit tough in Abruzzo because there's not a lot of expats there.
Yes, that's absolutely true. Of course, it's starting to change now as more and more non-Italians move in here. But basically, for your everyday and the little towns, where there mostly are little towns here, the average person speaks no English whatsoever. You might
Yeah.
find some of the younger high school kids know some, between internet, and they take English in school, so
Yeah.
they would be able to, get by. But if you go like, to most of the businesses, like shopkeepers, service people, they don't speak any English. So you're kind of forced, or you have to hire a translator every time you want to do something.
Yeah, so that's an area that you definitely need to know your Italian if you're going to go to
Yes, yes, very,
Abruzzo. All right, well, let's
yes.
talk about rents. Monica, what can you tell us about low-end rents? What can you find something
Okay,
for?
okay. Well, I would say if you're at the on the coast or where I am, like towards the beach, on the beach, rents are going to be, of course, higher. The further inland you go, the less the rent becomes. But I have to say, then you also have less services as well. So my
Mhm.
town, which is a town of about 15,000 inhabitants, in the winter,
Mhm.
permanent residents, it triples in the summer when, because it's a big resort area where a lot of Italians come. They have second homes here, so the population doubles, almost triples in the summertime. But it's that's one of the reasons why it's hard to find an apartment, a long-term apartment here, because a lot of the people that do rent out their places rent them seasonally
Sure.
because they can get more money. But
Mhm.
average rent in this area, because it's close to Pescara, which is like the biggest city in Abruzzo.
Mhm.
Uh, it would range depending on number of rooms, of course, and where, but anywhere between, I'd say, 400 and 600 euro a month,
And that's
which is,
that's in the
yeah,
that's in the area near the beach, you're saying.
yes, yes.
Okay.
Probably if you go further inland, closer to the mountains, but not in the ski areas, you could probably find a nice little rental for about 350, 375, like, a one bedroom, or maybe a one bedroom, a small second bedroom. They call them cameretta. You might be able to get that for 350, maybe 400 tops. But yeah, that doesn't include utilities usually. That's
Okay.
extra.
So how far is that inland? Would you say that's 2, 3, 4, 5 kilometers inland?
Oh, no, no, no. I'd say like, like 20, 30 kilometers, yeah.
Okay, so you're 20, 30 kilometers, you're probably about 30 minutes away from the beach then,
Yeah, 30, 35. Yeah, yeah,
where you could get something for 350. So if you
yeah,
go, say you get a Vespa, say you buy a
yeah,
Vespa and you live 2 miles from the beach, or let's say
yeah.
5 kilometers from the beach. What can you find something inland for 3 kilometers or 5 kilometers in the beach? Take your scooter in, scooter out. What do you think? Are they around
Well, again,
400?
well, I guess it would depend too, like on the town, because now we have some towns about that distance away, maybe a little bit more, 10, maybe 10 kilometers, or they're sort of like centro storico, antique medieval villages. So the rent might be a little higher, only
Okay.
because, of the way it looks. But
Sure.
if you were like on like just a little community, like a little contrada, you'd probably, yeah, be able to find something for 325, 350. No problem. Yeah.
All right, cool. And
Yeah.
do any of those rents include utilities, or are
I
utilities
guess
separate?
it depends on what the landlord's looking for. My rent does not, uh, again, because this area is very difficult and people are always looking to rent here. So you could ask practically whatever you want. Because
Hmm.
like in the summertime, some of these apartments, by the week, they get 1,000 euro a week. So yeah, uh, but mine doesn't include my utilities. But I know people who live in smaller places that, yes, they might include the maybe lights, water, maybe not gas, because that's real expensive. So they might have to pay one or two bills extra.
So typically, what are utilities a month there,
Okay,
approximately?
the thing about utilities in Italy is that they don't come every month. They come every 2 months, except for the water bill, which only comes, I think, 3 times a year or 4 times a year.
Okay.
So, and now my apartment, it's a large apartment. It's 90 meters, so it's on 900 square feet, so it's
Hmm.
fairly large.
Hmm.
I have 3 bedrooms, one nice sized bathroom, a kitchen,
Wow.
and a like a sort of giardino, like a living room combination. So, being one person, though, of course, my utilities are less. So I pay approximately in my electric bill is usually between 98 and 110. That's every 2 months. My gas, of course, the gas goes up in the winter because that's what creates heat. And well, this year it's been mild. We've had a mild winter, but it could go up as high as like 400 euro every 2 months.
Yeah.
And like water is very cheap. My water bill is like usually like 30 euro whenever they send it, like every 3 months. So it's this, I
Oh,
mean, I have
so it's about
sprinklers.
$10 a month. Okay.
Yeah, very cheap. Water's cheap. Yeah. And
Okay.
then I do laundry. I have a washing machine. I do a lot of laundry. So I use water.
How much you pay for Wi-Fi?
Okay, so now I use one of the local companies, Fast Web, and it's my Wi-Fi and my phone, and I pay 35 euro a month.
Okay, with cell and
Wi-
Wi-Fi.
Wi-Fi, yeah, and I have like unlimited data, and I have 500 minutes to the United States included in that.
Okay, nice. All
Yeah.
right.
Oh yeah, you find that cell phone usage Wi-Fi is so much less expensive than in the States. Oh my God, I don't even want to tell you what I used to pay
Well,
in Florida.
the reception is great too. I mean, you live in a region that's kind of off the beaten path, and the reception's great. You're
Well,
clear.
yeah, well,
I
yeah.
can hear you clearly. It's great.
Well, good. Well, yeah, we have mountains too. But now they're all just going to fiber. So everybody's just about every of all the companies just about now have high speed fiber available. So it's
Yeah.
really, really nice. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So what can you tell us about the cost of groceries out there
Um, okay, now I know a lot of people say the groceries are high, but I don't extraordinarily high. I have several supermarkets in the vicinity, and you shop around, you can get some good bargains. I don't go weekly, I go as I need, so it's hard to give you a weekly amount because we do go out a lot here in Italy. And
Mm.
when you're retired, and it's sometimes actually for one person, it's almost cheaper to go eat out because by the time I go to the store, buy the ingredients, have come cook it, have to clean up, it's easier to go out. But I don't buy. I'm not a big meat eater, so I really can't comment on meat too much. But fish is even though we live in an area where the sea where they get all the fish from,
Yeah.
fish is still pretty high.
Okay.
Fish is high, I guess, everywhere,
Yeah.
but fruits and vegetables, most of them are all local Italian. They rarely import anything. Everything's seasonal, and I find them not expensive at all. Again, maybe if I had a family of four, like the husband and two kids or something, maybe it'd be. But for one person, like I said, I live on my Social Security. I'm retired. I live on my Social Security and a small amount that I get from like investments. So it's not a lot of money. I'm not like rich, and I eat whatever I want. I go out as much as I want to go to restaurants.
Yeah.
I feel hindered by financial constraints at all.
Yeah. Yeah. So what would you say you budget per month on groceries?
I would say like a month. All right, so let me say maybe 300 euro a month.
Okay. 300 euro.
Yeah.
All right. And then, like you mentioned, restaurants, sometimes it can be less expensive. If you go out and have a nice Italian dish somewhere, what do you pay for that?
Okay, then you can go like you can get like some of the places. Again, we're not a big city here. We're not Rome. It's prices in Rome, Florence, of course, are like much higher. I can go to a nice restaurant and have like an exquisite meal, like a soup to nuts, an antipasto, a first course, your main course, a vegetable, dessert, coffee, wine for 45 euro.
Nice.
Yeah, yeah. And
That-
that's a lot. I mean,
yeah.
normally you pay like 27 euro, yeah, with wine, because of course wine is very reasonable here in Italy.
Yeah. So if you go to like a local neighborhood restaurant, you just get a
Mhm.
plate of pasta for like
Yeah,
a
well,
lunch or something.
plate of
What?
pasta, €8, €7, a glass of wine, €5, maybe not even €4. Water, because you usually get so you like €11, €12. You could have dinner.
Okay. So it's
Yeah.
very reasonable.
Oh gosh, yes, yes, very reasonable. And I said, and of course, the beaches are free, so you don't have to pay to go to the beach unless you want to have an umbrella and a chair. You know, they have the Lidos where, or they're privately owned, but you usually like reserve your spot for the whole season, and then they have restaurants and everything there. But they have plenty of free beaches where you can go, bring your own umbrella, bring your chair, bring your cooler with your lunch, you know, go swimming, spend the day. It's, you know, very reasonable.
Hmm.
uh Transportation, if you don't have a car, public transportation, I use the trains a lot because I don't like to drive. And trains, you can go to Milan. You can go to Milan on the high speed train from here. You can go like one way, like 35 euro.
Are you close to an airport?
We have Cascada. They call it an international airport, but of course we don't have flights from the United States, but they do
Okay.
fly within Europe. So
Okay.
yeah, that's in Pescada, and the airport from me is about, like, 25 minutes.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's great. So you have
Oh,
access to Ryanair and
yeah, so Ryanair, yeah, yeah, Ryanair, yeah, and then they have like several like large bus companies, which they'll people take to if they have to go to Rome to fly out of Fiumicino.
yeah,
So the bus companies, you can get a ticket to Rome on the bus for like €9 one way to get to the airport.
nice.
And they're big, comfortable buses, comfortable seats, Wi-Fi. They take your luggage. It's like
Hmm.
a yeah. So it's like I said, it's living here economically. It's very, very reasonable. I mean,
Yeah.
even for a couple, retired couple, you can live very well on your retirement income.
How do you get to the grocery store and back and around town?
Well, depending on which one I'm going to, I could either walk. I have two very close within walking distance.
Okay.
Otherwise, I have a car, a small car, I bought an old Fiat.
Ooh,
Yeah, a
nice.
Seicento. Yeah. I figure I'm in Italy, get a Fiat. They all know how to fix it. They're
That's
economical.
it.
Yeah.
Fiat's the way to go.
You have no problem getting parts for Fiat. Certainly, you can buy them like in the grocery store practically.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I'll drive to this if I'm going to do like a big shopping where I don't want to carry lots of stuff back.
Nice. What can
Yeah.
you get? What can you get a used Fiat for over there for?
Well, okay, mine's like very old. Mine's like a 2001, so it's very old, and I paid €1,100 for it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
And as I said, maintenance is very reasonable. I mean, I'll tell you what's expensive. Insurance, auto insurance is like astronomical
Oh,
because,
really?
oh gosh, yes,
Do
because
you have to have it?
oh yeah, oh, it's a law. Yeah, you have to
It
have
is a
one.
law. Okay.
Yeah, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. So like, when you buy a car, when you first get here, your first car, when you go to get insurance, they do not take into account like your past driving history from your country. So you have to
Hmm.
start out as a new driver. So you start at the highest
Ooh.
level, the highest
Ooh,
rate.
that's
Yeah, yeah.
not good.
No, it's not good. And it takes a long time to get out of that.
Do you have to pay for insurance if you get a Vespa or like a scooter?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you do. Actually,
I,
I should know the
Monica,
question.
I could see you on a Vespa scooting around.
No, I actually had a Vespa in Florida and I got rid of it because it made me nervous because I didn't feel secure enough. I felt too like overexposed, without having a like
Sure.
metal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, okay.
But
What
they're,
what what does the insurance cost for a Fiat a year?
all right. Well, if you shop around, I mean, I don't know what everybody pays, but like my insurance is pretty reasonable, again, because I don't have collision because they're not going to pay for a 25-year-old car.
Right.
So my insurance annually is just about €1,200.
Okay. Yeah, that is expensive.
Yeah. And then, of course, gas is very expensive. I just filled up my car today and I was on a half a tank. So my car thing only holds like 11 gallons, well, not gallons, but like, I forget how many liters.
Mm.
But it cost me almost €50 to fill up a half a tank of gas today.
Wow.
€50. Yeah. So gas is expensive. That's why most people take, even if they have cars, they use public transportation a lot
Hmm. Yeah.
because, yeah, it
Okay.
costs so much, yeah, for fuel.
Hey, getting back, Monica, you mentioned that your apartment is a 3 bedroom.
Yes.
So, and you looked around for that. How much is that per month?
On my apartment?
Yeah.
Okay. Plus I have a garage.
Oh, nice.
That's another thing that's, yeah, that's hard to find garages. So that's another plus of my apartment. If you go out to a lot of these smaller places or
Hmm.
the cheaper places, you're not going to get a garage,
Yeah.
So, all right. So I pay €600 a month for my apartment.
Wow. And
Yeah.
you got a large apartment. It looks nice too.
Thank you. No, it's fairly much. The building's like, I think, only like 25 years old, which is new
And
for
it's a
Italy.
and it's a 3 bedroom.
3 bedroom, yeah. 3 bedroom.
Wow.
Yeah.
You got a
And
score.
yes, I did. I did. But I'm going to be leaving it soon because I just bought an apartment.
Oh, did you? You purchased.
Yeah. Yeah, I decided to buy one now so I could have one of my own. I mean, because I don't know,
Wow.
as nice as my landlord is, and I have a really nice lease because, again, the leases in Italy are different. Uh, you sign like a lease for either for 3 years with a 2-year automatic renewal or for 4 years with a 3-year renewal.
Hmm.
So I'm in the third year of my lease, and I
Mm.
figured I don't know what his plans are. He's a young guy after that, and he might want to sell the apartment. I wouldn't buy this apartment. Number one, I probably couldn't afford it, but
Yeah.
uh, I wanted to be in a different area in Sylvie. So I
Okay.
found an apartment there. Yeah.
So how is it a 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom?
No, this one's the one I got is a 2 bedroom. It's a little bit smaller than this because it's only a 2 bedroom. So it's like instead of it being 90, it's like I think like 82 square meters, but it's got a nice balcony and it's got a nice view. So
Wow. Okay. So and this is an apartment. It's a flat, right?
yeah, actually they're
Okay.
condominiums, but they call them apartments here. They don't usually call them condominiums. So,
Okay.
it's a building, a condominium building, but they call them apartments.
What are the going rates for 2 bedroom, 80
Again,
square
it
meters?
depends. Like if you're down by the beach, like this one is like a block from the beach, so it's a little
Mhm.
bit more money. But the ones that are right on the beach, you could pay anywhere from like 165 to like over 250,000,
On the
especially if
beach.
that's on the beach. Further away you go, you can get a nice apartment, like a 2 bedroom in a nice, not real big, maybe 70 meters for around 80,000, 85,000.
Okay. And those are typically
Yeah.
fully
Yeah.
renovated.
Yeah, well, some of them are. I mean, some of them, like, I mean, haven't had any modernization. I mean, they're functional, you can live in them, but, most
Yeah.
people, and the other strange thing they do here in Italy is like everybody takes their kitchens with them when they move.
Yeah.
So most of these apartments, well, after you buy it, you have to put in a kitchen.
Right.
But
Yeah.
that's like a big business, and they're real easy. You go buy modular things, they come one day and they put them in.
Yeah, that's all right.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's something in Italy. That's the funny
yeah,
thing about how they take the kitchen out and then you got to put everything back in. Uh,
right.
that's funny. All right, cool. So, is there a maintenance that you have to pay per month?
Yeah, like my building has a condominium monthly fee, and I pay €50 a month for that.
Okay, so the
And
maintenance is
most of the nicer buildings will you pay about €50 a month. Yeah.
okay. And how about taxes per year on those?
Uh, if it's your first home in Italy, you pay no taxes, no property taxes.
Wow.
So that's another reason why I'm buying one for myself because it's going to be my first prima casa, and I won't have any property taxes. And the EVA, like the tax when you buy the value added tax, the VAT is less than if it's like a second home or if I was like a non-resident. So really, that's the nice thing about Italy too. Like you have no property taxes unless you have like a villa, which is like enormous.
Yeah.
But most yeah, that's why you see so many people own their homes because
Yeah.
yeah.
Amazing. How about insurance? How much you pay for insurance?
Well, right now I don't really have insurance but I when I move I will have to get insurance. I mean, you don't have to. You only have to get it like in America. If you mortgage the property, you have to have insurance. But I don't think homeowners insurance is that expensive here because the buildings are really solid. Most of them are made out of like bricks, and they're
Yeah.
not. So you hardly ever. I've lived here like almost over 3 years now. I've never heard of a house burning down in a fire, and
Yeah.
everybody has fireplaces, like stufas, and so I guess you don't have to worry about that. I guess the biggest thing they do is for theft,
Mm-hmm.
or like maybe natural disaster. But I'm not in the earthquake zone, so I don't have to worry about earthquakes.
Mm-hmm.
Don't have to worry about hurricanes like in Florida.
Yeah.
So I guess so. Basically, you would just like your contents of your house would have to be insured, I guess, because even the roofs. I mean, the roofs are either tile or something that's really sturdy, and I don't think they get
Sure.
damaged much.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right. Great. So what can you tell us about healthcare in Italy?
Okay, well, I happen to have used it quite a bit. I'm on the national health system because I'm a
Okay.
citizen, and I find it to be very, very good. I don't really have any complaints. When you sign up for it as a citizen, you get to pick, or they assign you your primary care doctor. They call it a medico di base here, and she sort of, or he is like your gatekeeper, like back in the States, your primary care. So any problems you have, you go see them first, and
Mhm.
then they'll either refer you to a specialist. But as a citizen, I don't have to always use the national. I could go privately anytime I want. And sometimes it's faster that way if you have something you wanted to be taken care of right away.
Sure.
And even to go private, I find the costs are not anything close to what you would be paying somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
Like I just had to go see an eye doctor, and he's an ophthalmologist surgeon.
Mm-hmm.
And I went privately because if I went through the national health, I'd probably have to wait a bit. And his office visit, which was a very comprehensive visit, he did exams. He did glaucoma, he did all that stuff. He wrote prescriptions. I paid like €82, and
Wow.
that's like, yeah, and that's, yeah. So once I see him, then I go back to my primary care, and if I need any medication, she writes me the prescriptions, and I don't have to pay for them.
Nice. Wow.
Yeah.
Do you have to pay into that national health system? Is there
No,
anything
no,
to
as
pay?
a citizen, no, nope.
Okay. So can
So
expats that aren't citizens access
yes, but
that?
they do have to pay. Now they just are raising it. They're raising. It used to be based, I think, on a sliding scale of like your income, but
Mm-hmm.
now they just raised it, and I think everyone for now has to pay €2,000 each annually for it,
Okay.
because again, so many people are moving in, and they're like really taxing the public health system. So I guess they had
Mm-hmm.
to make money somewhere. But even at that point, it's still cheaper than the United States. I mean, I was on Medicare in the United States, and my co-pays were almost as much as what I have to pay for
Yeah.
the entire visit.
Yeah. Yeah. So okay, so 2,000 euros a month is still about,
Well,
un
that's a year. No, no, that's 2,000 a year. Yeah,
or
a year.
2,000 a year, I mean. Yeah. So
Yeah, yeah,
that's under 200 a month.
yeah.
Which is still incredibly reasonable compared if you
Right.
compare
And
it to the
and
United States.
right. And anytime you go to the emergency room, there's no charge ever.
Yeah. How about in
So
like the private? You have any idea what the going rates are for private insurance that people go with? Any idea?
no, not
No.
really,
Okay.
because no, I never investigated that because
Yeah.
didn't it concern me, right?
Well,
Mm-hmm.
Monica, that's we covered everything. Is there anything else you can think of that the viewers could benefit from if considering moving to the Abruzzo region?
Well, maybe the weather, if they were concerned about weather, I don't
Yeah.
know. Well, or back to driving now. If you come from a non-EU country, where you can't exchange your driver's license, after you drove for a year here, you have to get your Italian driver's license, and that involves taking a theory test all in Italian, and then you still have to take 6 hours of mandatory driving instruction from a registered driving school. before you can take the practical test. So that's something to
Wow.
be aware of. A lot of people don't realize that. And you get very stiff fines if you're caught driving on your like US license after you've been here a year as a resident. Now, if you're
Yeah.
not a resident, it doesn't matter.
Wow, that's good information to know. It's almost more beneficial just to walk and you know, walk places and use the public transportation.
Well, and e-bikes are really, really popular, very popular around here. So a lot of people that don't want to get a driver's license, because even if you get a scooter, you have to get a license. Uh,
Yeah.
Even like the smallest scooter, and you can start
Mhm.
when you're 14 years old, but you're restricted to where you can drive. But so a lot of people get e-bikes because you don't really need a license for that, and because there's like little hills, and the e-bikes are easier to go up and down the hills.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. All
yeah,
right.
okay.
Well,
Oh yeah,
Monica Izzo, thank you so much for
yes.
taking the time to share all this info.
Well, I was very happy to help. Yes, and it was a pleasure meeting you, and I hope this information is useful to your listeners.
Yeah, it is. Well, thank you so much again and have a great rest of the evening.
Thank you, Ray. You too. You take
Okay.
care and stay well.